What's up, everybody? Welcome back to ChimiComics. Doing a video that I'm sure you've been waiting on for a year, maybe longer. I'm not sure. But this is ChimiComicsReviews, Man of fucking Steel.
We're finally finishing our Superman in review.
The last one!
Yep.
The very last one.
We hit it hard, and then we just fell off the face of the earth with it, yeah.
We said, fuck it.
But then the last one we made got 7,000 views. So they're like,
almost 8,000.
Yeah.
We're gearing close. He gets about 60 views a day, so that's nice.
So like, yeah, we probably should do
the most viewed movie review on the channel, definitely. But yeah, so we just finished Man of Steel. I think it is the best Superman movie that we watched out of this whole group. They might not agree. I don't know. We've been drinking. I would like that to be known. So we're all a little bit intoxicated. Man, Wyatt more so than anyone else here.
Well, no. When we were watching, yes, but I'm pretty sober right now.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm about 5 beers in. Wyatt, how many? You've got 2?
Yeah.
Riley, how many you?
I gotta drive home.
I'm good.
How many are you in?
Yes.
I don't believe him.
He's trying to be a controlled alcoholic. I'm embarrassed, but I won't go in with Tanner when he buys beer. Cause I don't want to see anyone I know.
I'm not drunk, but it's 5 beers in for me.
Yeah, Tanner needs 6.
Yeah, exactly. I like this movie a lot. Obviously, it's Zach Snyder's and the DCEU starting point. Henry Cavill as Superman, who I've got a nice hot toy for, which is very nice. Do not touch my Superman.
I can't touch your Superman?
No.
Why?
I don't want you to.
Why? I won't hurt him.
Just be careful.
Okay,
please.
I'll be careful.
Don't move him out of his pose. Superman! There's my Superman hot toy. Henry Cavill from Justice League. It's a nice hot toy. I really like that hot toy. But the movie itself, very good. Good job, Riley. Being careful with it. My girlfriend took my hot toy. Okay, yeah, okay, I'll have to fix it later. But my girlfriend took my hot toy and moved. She played with all of my hot toys, and it really grinded my gears. And she moved them out of positions, and there's a man. If you have
played with the toys.
If you have a woman in your life and she plays with your hot toys, you understand my pain.
If you didn't know what a hot toy was, you'd think we were talking about something else.
I feel like.
Hey, if they watch the videos on the channel, they'll be all right. But overall, I like this movie a lot. I think obviously it's got its problems, like any movie. But as far as a Superman movie goes, I think it's better than the rest of them. I don't know if everybody else necessarily agrees with me, but that's just my overall thoughts on the movie. I think it's good. I think Henry Cavill does a good performance as Superman. I wish he had more Clark Kent moments than he had Superman moments. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have Clark Kent moments, because he does, but it's more from his childhood rather than just Clark Kent being Clark Kent. Being kind of that nerdy guy, which is
not
something...
Clark Kent really until the end of the movie.
Yeah, and even in the DCEU, we never really get Clark Kent Superman, which I think that is Superman. Superman is Clark Kent.
That just goes to show that Zack Snyder really just likes making movies about Batman, because there's tons of Bruce Wayne stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There's tons of Bruce Wayne stuff, and I love Bruce Wayne Batman. I have to hot toy Bruce Wayne Batman too. But I love that version of Batman that Zack Snyder has. But the Clark Kent isn't really in this DCEU. He's really just Superman, and he's godlike, and I mean that's a good thing. Jesus-like. Obviously, there's a lot of Jesus anagrams, but I mean he's a good Superman. He's a really good Superman, and I think he's better than Brandon Routh was. And I don't think he's as good as Christopher Reeve, but I do feel like he's a great Superman. So that's just kind of my overall thoughts on Man of Steel. I'll throw it to one of y'all two, obviously, and kind of give y'all's overall thoughts on the film, and then we can get into plot and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I pretty much will agree with Tanner, saying out of the ones we watched is probably my favorite. That just goes to the majority of them are the old Superman, which is like old Silver Age comics inspired, and those are very campy. So something that's more grounded is something I'm going to have more enjoyment with, and this movie definitely has some more grounding to it. But it does have its problems though. Like if you didn't know some of the story of Superman, and I mean most people do, then you kind of would be lost there at the beginning because it has some weird transitions and goes very fast. Yeah, he hasn't even put on the suit and until an hour has passed. So,
It's true.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite movie ever, but like we had a great time watching it.
We did.
It's not a bad movie. But yeah, it's like for some reason this time I noticed that there were a lot of like shaky camera parts in this that really bothered me. Like it felt like I was watching a fan film or something.
Yeah, the camera work. It was like this camera guy's first major gig, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, I get to work with Zach Snyder. I can't stay still."
I would like to say, keep in mind, this is Zack Snyder not after 300, but after Sucker Punch, which is one of the worst films ever made. And I'll stand by that. But Man of Steel, there was a lot of shaky cam, I admit. And there was some weird color gradient, which Riley mentioned, which I did notice. It could have been just, HBO Max. We watched it on HBO Max. It could have just been HBO Max, but I do think it was just kind of gradient. And I think
it's a movie.
I think it is too. I think they were trying to kind of fulfill that kind of darkness that Dark Knight popularized.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you need that in a Superman movie. But I like the film overall.
Yeah, one thing that this Superman movie did not do is make it like happy. Like I know I said I like it more grounded, but I mean there still should be that brighter Metropolis. Like Metropolis doesn't really look like Metropolis should.
No.
Yeah.
It looks just like a generic city, honestly.
Yeah.
But Daily Planet was cool. I like all the supporting cast. I know they have Jimmy Olsen in the next movie, but he's not Jimmy Olsen. So I wish that they had Jimmy Olsen. They do have Pete in it from Smallville, and they have Lana from Smallville, though neither of them really play that big of a part.
Yeah, Pete just shows up a couple times as an IHOP manager.
Yeah, and then Lois talks to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's Superman. He saved us.
Clark.
He saved us when we fell in the school bus fell down." But I really like the movie, so I mean we can get into the plot. Obviously, I do like the background stuff with Krypton. I feel like this is the most we've seen of Krypton in any Superman movie that we've seen.
Yeah, we got like a whole scene
I can't really say the same because I mean it just has one glaring plot hole, which is why exactly did them having to use this selective breeding machines stop them from colonizing planets?
Say that again.
Like he said, we founded an empire and went through space, but then we decided we could not breed normally, so we got these machines, and then we stopped colonizing, and we used all our resources, and we never went to space again.
It was because they had used all their resources, so then
but why they had already went to space though?
They had already went to space, but they had used all their resources on the planet. So then, like, all the people that had already, put themselves on the planet. So, you know how they were the Kryptonian map or whatever for, wherever planets they were on? I assume that it meant they did, since Krypton's now dead, they couldn't send out, any of that stuff that would keep them alive on other planets.
But they have other ships and stuff that are there during the Kryptonian destruction. It looks like they should have been able to send something. It's like we don't have any resources left. It's like we'll take down some buildings, scavenge. You can do something. You're not out of everything.
It's like global warming. Eventually, it's just gonna fuck us, and we're all gonna die. And that is Krypton.
Hoax. Stop kidding.
Oh my god.
And that is Krypton. So yeah, the movie starts and we're on Krypton. We're with Jor-El, who is Superman's father, played by Russell Crowe. I think Russell Crowe does a great job as Jor-El. I think he's
This is madness.
Yeah, that is.
except for that part.
Yeah.
There is the part at the very beginning of the movie where fucking Todd
Just runs a girl down. And
he
it's like,
exterminates. He exterminates a girl. Just completely fries this old woman. Just fries her completely. She turns into bones. And then Jor-El just turns and deadpan says, "This is madness."
This
This is madness.
And Zod's like, "Yeah, it is. So I'm gonna take over the fucking planet." And Jor-El's like, "Fuck that. I'm gonna go get my son and we're gonna get him off the planet. We're gonna give him this codex, which has all the information on Krypton. And we're going to send him out to Earth to hopefully live in a better tomorrow because Krypton is fucked." So that's basically the start of the movie. There's dragons. There's a lot of cool sci-fi shit that are super interesting and not something that I can really go in depth on because I didn't care for the movie Dune. So I'm not going to go into it in depth on here either.
The movie Doom was fucking awesome. If you think not, then you're an asshole like him.
Anyways, so then we're off Krypton. We see young Clark as he's becoming basically Superman. We do see a lot of funny, quote unquote, sequences of him being older Clark, where he's saving oil rigs.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like. Because
What was
it's
supposed to be funny?
Him where he took that truck and threw a thing through it.
Oh, I like that part.
So we see him flee Krypton, he's on a different ship and he's escaping the destruction and all. But then, like, the next scene, he's immediately on Deadliest Catch on a crab fishing boat. And it's like, I think we missed a couple steps here.
Yeah, so he is on a crab fishing boat. He's working odd jobs throughout the world. He doesn't want anybody to know who he is.
He's trying to
So
go
he's
north,
working odd
so
jobs.
He's just going
so no one really knows him. No one knows who he is, and no one knows anything about him. So he's run from Smallville. He's just kind of a loner. And he's running to all these different places. There's obviously the funny scene where the truck driver hits on a girl. Clark doesn't like it. He grabs her ass, and then Clark tries to
The guy did.
There is an awesome scene. Yeah. But the guy pushes him, and then it's just like a fucking wall. That's a great scene.
He throws a beer can at him.
He throws a beer can at him, and then he does nothing because it's Clark. And he's like, I'm better than this. I don't have to do this shit. But then he does do something funny, and he destroys his truck. I like that scene. I know there's some, a little bit of discrepancy online whether that is something Superman would actually do. But I'm okay with it because it gave some levity to the movie.
Snyder Batman be like, you call it funny, I call it a felony. I'm taking you in.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, this is the situation where I feel like the movie needed a little levity. So I appreciate that being in the movie. And then we have some more background on Superman and his family. We also meet Lois Lane, played by Amy Adams. I like Amy Adams. I think she's an okay Lois Lane. I like her better than the other Lois Lanes that we've had.
Yeah, Lois Lanes in the other movies have been just terrible people. Absolutely terrible people.
For the most part.
Yeah, Lois Lane in this movie, it's like,
Who was it that we really liked in the other Superman movies? Was it Lana?
Lana, yeah.
We loved Lana.
Lana is good.
Yeah, Lana was nice.
She's not an asshole.
Yeah, she's not. But I like this Lois Lane. She was nice. She's kind of that confident Lois Lane that we see in the comics, so that's nice. Go ahead.
She was going to keep his identity, even though, aliens were invading and said, hey, we need this guy who's been living with you. And she's like, I'm not going to give it up. And then he's like, don't worry, I'll go. Yeah. So then we get a little bit of Superman meeting his father, Jor-El. And Jor-El's this kind of conscious thing, sort of like Marlon Brando was in the original Christopher Reeve Superman. So it's an interesting dynamic. I don't really understand the consciousness thing with Man of Steel. I don't know if y'all do, but I get that Jor-El in the older Superman movies, he kind of talked through like a hologram or whatever. He's more like his consciousness was downloaded and converted into an artificial intelligence.
Yeah. it's still weird. I don't like stuff like
No,
that.
I liked
think
it. I
that's
thought it
been
was
a
cool.
thing in a lot of other things.
It has been, yeah.
I liked how when he was in Zod's ship and how he was
But it's
controlling
kinda like
it, so
what-
he was like all being projected like everywhere Lois was.
Yeah,
That was cool.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, why does Jor-El get the love? Why doesn't the mama Jor-El get the love? But I guess she does in the older Superman movies. In Superman 3 and 4, I think she's in it instead of Marlon Brando.
Well, also, like, he's the scientist. He's the one that built the rocket.
That's true.
He's the one that...
Yeah. So it makes sense that he would be the one talking. And
that's a joke that's been parodied so many times where the mom's like, "What'd you do?" "Oh, I imparted my consciousness so I can teach him everything he needs to know." "Oh, you made one for me, right?"
Yeah, exactly. Also, I will mention that when they're on Krypton, that Zod and his team of evil people get put into penis escape pods, and then they fly and get put into the Phantom Zone. And then once Krypton explodes,
It sounds
the Phantom Zone goes kaput, and then they fly around the universe looking for the Codex, hoping that they can find it so that they can bring back Krypton. Which they never do until Clark finally visits his ship, which is where he meets his father, Jor-El, and then he activates the little memory thing that Jor-El gave him for their family crest, and he puts it in the thing, which activates a little beacon that is a distress signal that sends out to Zod, and now Zod is coming for Earth.
He also meets Lois there. So that's another difference between like the regular Superman story. Regular Superman story, Superman just goes on by himself and finds it.
He finds Lois at the Daily Planet.
He's part of an expedition here, and Lois is there with the military because they detected this alien ship. And he finds it, and Lois follows him, and she gets wounded, and he cauterizes her wound with his laser eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing this movie doesn't really explain, this movie kind of says that it's atmosphere and not the sun that gives him his powers, that sort of thing. And he's like, it's made your bones and muscles super strong, but more so than I could ever imagine. And while we were watching, I was like, I'm parroting him. I was like, but what about the laser eyes, though? And he's like, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, so Superman's powers are pretty much like they have always been in the comics, at least, where Superman has every power except the ones he hasn't tried yet.
Yeah.
Sort of past the 1940s Superman, but a little bit different because Superman can actually get damaged, which is not unlike the 1940s Superman, who's just unbeatable in every way. So he does have his little powers. He doesn't have ice breath, which is sad. I think he doesn't get that until the next movie. I think he has it in Batman vs. Superman. I could be wrong,
I remember him using it.
I feel like he might have used it on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Zod, also known as Doomsday. I think he might have used it on that thing, but I'm not positive. There's also, let's see, where we at after that. He meets the military. He explains the family crest. He says it stands for hope, but he's not Hope Man. Lois calls him Superman and gives him that name.
She's about to, but then she gets interrupted. But then
but everybody
soldiers start calling him Superman.
Yeah, they all start calling him Superman. And it's this time that Zod invades. Well, actually, we get the scene back of him revealing why he's never came out before and never came out and said why he's Superman and who he is, blah, blah, blah. It's because of his father, Jonathan Kent, in the movie, played by Kevin Costner. And Kevin Costner has told him his whole life to not reveal his identity because they'll come for him and he will always have this attention of the universe. And that is a load that is too much to bear to handle for one person. And it goes to the point, the extent, which is something me and Riley hated in the movie, which is him being in this tornado and just putting up his hand and being like, "Yeah, Clark, let me die." And I think that's universally hated among us. I think that's the worst part of the movie. I think that is the worst part of the movie, in fairness. It obviously goes to save the dog, and then that's good. It gives him a little heroic good deed, as Jonathan Kent kind of shows Clark, what a hero's like, making that sacrifice. But also it's kind of stupid because he's like, "Don't save me, Clark," when Clark could have easily saved him and still got the point of the message, which was, hey, don't reveal yourself, and this is a lot of pressure, which Jonathan Kent could have just reestablished after being saved instead of actually dying. But I understand what he was going for. I just think it was a stupid decision. And I think everyone here agrees. Then after that, I believe we get a little bit of the military, him explaining to Lois that he is Superman. And then we get, I already said he gets the suit. He flies for the first time, which is a really good scene of him flying around and flying through mountains, not being able to get it just right, but finally he does, and then flies around basically the whole world through different little areas, which I didn't remember from watching the first time. Him flying by some zebras and cool stuff in Africa and all kinds of different areas. I thought that was really cool because I didn't remember it from the first movie. I just remembered him kind of, doing the little fist and then the ground coming up around him, and then he starts flying around. So I like that a lot.
Then Zod finally shows up.
He does this awesome video, which I think is really cool, in multiple languages. You are not alone.
It's cool that he hacked it and did it all multiple languages, but when he turns it into an actual video, like, you would think he would have like a better camera quality.
No, he didn't. He's an alien.
It makes it creepier.
It makes it way creepier, and he's in that creepy mask, the creepy gas mask, and he's like, "You are not alone.
Yeah.
We have an alien on your planet."
I agree. That was quite scary.
Yeah, I think it's creepier that way because it makes you think, hey, if that happened today, and there's an alien on my world, and I don't know who he is, the world is going to be in uproar, and they're going to try to figure out who that is, because otherwise the planet is dead.
What about those Mongolians with the TV in the chest?
That was dumb.
It was cool, but I also like that Zod had multiple languages. I thought that was cool. Because obviously that means he's been studying the planet, and he kind of knows a little bit more about Earth than he lets on.
So yeah, Superman has a talk with the Reverend and decides to have faith and surrender himself. So he goes to the military, surrenders himself to them, and then they surrender him to Zod. Him and Zod is like, we also want Lois to come with us as well.
Which I didn't understand, because he could have known nothing about Lois, but I guess...
And she's the whole reason that Superman's able to escape anyway. But anyway, so it's a plot convenience, really.
Yeah.
So she goes with them. They are Superman
in the Kryptonian ship.
They're in the Kryptonian ship with Kryptonian atmosphere.
Lois has the whole memory thing.
This has changed things. It's not so much the sun; it's more the atmosphere that gives them their powers, the Earth atmosphere. So when he doesn't have that, he starts like suffocating, and he gets weakened because Snyder didn't want to put kryptonite in this movie. Yeah,
Snyder's whole thing before this movie started was that, hey, I'm going to make Kryptonian air the version of kryptonite in this movie instead of the actual kryptonite.
Yeah. So Lois, while she's here, Clark passes her the computer chip that has his father's consciousness on it, and she's able to plug that into the ship because there's a nifty little plug-in right in her prison cell. So she puts that in. He takes control of everything and teaches her how to change the oxygen, the atmosphere on the ship, to a human atmosphere. She's able to take off her breath mask, and Clark is able to be strong. So he's closing doors for her and guiding her out, gives her a weapon. She's blasting people too, and she gets to escape. And then he goes to talk to Clark for one last time, and he's like, punch out right there. And he punches out the hole, and you can see the pod with Lois in it, but it's damaged. And he goes, you can save her, son. I will. Goodbye. And Clark flies out, saves her.
He does his Christ pose first.
Yeah.
And then he flies out.
Yeah. So they go back to Kansas, and then Zod attacks. And this is where I want people in the comments to give your opinion. So I've said several times about how the atmosphere is what gives them their powers in this movie. But when Zod's, the girl and the big guy come down from the original movies, they're super strong. They have superhuman abilities, but I mean, they haven't breathed in the oxygen. When Zod starts breathing in, he has to get used to his senses and everything like Superman did earlier in the movie. And like, he's out. Like, he's not able to do anything because it's too much. But these two are able to throw down with Superman. Like, they're moving way faster. Like, they're wearing this armor. And so I think that the armor is like a type of power armor. And that's why they're able to do this, because the sun isn't giving them the powers. They're not breathing in the atmosphere. They've got their helmets still on.
But they're still in the sun.
But the sun's not what gives them their powers in this.
Still in the sun.
It is true.
No, but earlier on in the film, they talk about how
Then how did
that's
Zod?
how Cal got his powers.
How did
from the
Zod
sun.
not get it until he started breathing in the atmosphere?
I don't know. I can't explain that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that's a plot hole. But it's not power armor.
Why would it not be?
Because they don't have power armor.
Why wouldn't they have power armor?
Because they don't.
But why can't they?
Because it's the same armor that they have in the beginning scene.
And that's not power armor?
No,
I
it's
don't
not.
think so either.
Comment.
Obviously,
They don't jump
knife
around
things.
and hop around on Krypton with that armor.
They have cool knife things though, and dragons.
Yeah. Well, comments?
I think
Let
it's
us
the
know.
sun that gives them the powers, but obviously,
It is.
I think it's a little bit of a plot hole
I
too.
think so too, yeah.
Because that's just with the air that they have to wear the suit and stuff. But then, obviously, Zod gets used to it as life goes on, and obviously he's powerful and all that good jazz.
When he breathes in the atmosphere.
So they're in Smallville. Fiora and the other Kryptonians fuck things up. Obviously, there's the three from Superman 2 that we know. We've got Zod, we've got Big Guy, and then we've got Fiora, who's the evil woman who's actually a badass. And then they all are fighting in Smallville. They crash into a Sears, which I think is just a money grab. I explained this to Riley and Wyatt during the movie, that this is just Sears' way of collecting insurance. They're going to have all these aliens attack multiple Sears locations in order to at least hopefully break even, so that they can take their money and go home. That's obviously the big plan of Lex Luthor, who's a major investor in Sears. If you didn't know that in this universe, now you know. And it's going to be great. It's a really good plan by Luthor, and I think it's one of the best plans of the series. Moving on. So now they're fighting in Smallville. Clark.
The military is there.
Yeah, the military's there trying to target them.
Well, they're not distinguishing, but Clark is saving them over the course of this battle because the Supermen, or the evil ones, are throwing them around with all these powers they shouldn't have.
Yep.
And Clark is catching them, and then at the end of it, when they run away, they see Clark and they have all their guns up and they lower it. And the colonel, the Air Force colonel, is like, he's not our enemy. And so he's like, we got to get to NORAD. So they go to NORAD. And Lois is like, we got a plan. We're going to use Clark's baby ship and the consciousness thing and throw it into the terraformer. Because Zod has thrown down this big terraformer thing. And we've started the big trope that every superhero movie needs, which is a beam in the sky. And of course, they decided to put it down on Metropolis. So, yeah, Superman is like, okay, I'm going to fly into it and destroy the beam way up in orbit on the ship.
While also showing that he could be Christopher Reeve.
Yes.
And then, as Tanner says, 5,000 9/11s happen.
Yes.
Yes.
What Tanner said in the
Multiple
movie.
9/11 happens. Obviously, everybody in the city, for some reason, is still staying in their office instead of realizing that the aliens have invaded and leaving work. Because we're a capitalist society and business means business.
Okay, so 9/11 times 5,000 is 4,555,000. So that's what happened.
Exactly. Remember that day.
Remember the 4 million.
Which is probably how many people pretty much got fucked and died. So the terraformer's going off. It's got this
Bruce
cool
Wayne
soundtrack.
was there.
Yes, Bruce Wayne was there. It's got this cool soundtrack. Every time it does stuff. Superman destroys the terraformer.
They kamikaze
Fiora,
AC-130 into...
Yeah, Fiora dies after they fly AC-130 into one of their terraformer things, I guess, too.
And Clark
The other
decides
side.
that what he needs to do is not use the super speed to save as many people as possible. He's going to save Lois, and then he's going to kiss her.
Yes, and then they make out. And then Zod is still alive, so then we get this awesome fight between Zod and Superman.
It was very short. I expected it to be longer.
They're doing a lot of flying through the air and punching each other.
Yeah, but
destroying a lot of buildings, making a lot of 9/11s.
He's right. It wasn't really that long.
It's not. I was expecting it to be a lot longer because I never saw the movie until this point.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah. So I was like, oh, now the epic battle. But I mean,
it is kind of short.
it lasts like 2 minutes, and then they have that thing in the museum, and Lois somehow shows up, even though she should be across the city. And Zod is like, these people, you love them so much, you can mourn them. And he decides to use his laser vision that he has now, and he's gonna like
this
kill
random
these people.
family that's for some reason still there.
And Superman is holding him back. He's like, no, don't.
Which is what I always said: to use your freaking freeze breath and then freeze his face. So that he can't use heat vision, or at least it's not as damaging, and that family can run away.
Him so he
or
can't
just,
use heat vision.
Move slightly forward and away from the heat vision.
Riley,
because he's moving slow.
Back and to the left.
Riley, do you see?
Clark still has his head like this, and while he is moving his head,
Why do I feel like Tanner's going to break my neck?
he can still keep him slightly moving slower.
Yeah,
but he doesn't. So.
I just want to point this out. You're going to use freeze breath to stop him from using heat vision.
Correct.
Heat vision.
Correct.
You know, the thing that melts ice.
Yes, correct.
Good luck with that.
It's still going to slow him down.
Good luck with that.
It's still going to slow him down, just like...
Yes.
Didn't Clark carve this big tunnel in the beginning of the movie with his heat vision?
But also it's going to slow him down, which is all he needs for the people to get out of the way.
Okay, Tanner.
That's true. That's true.
All he needs is to slow him down.
I don't think it would
slow him down, or at least hurt the people a little less.
Yeah.
They can have third-degree burns. They can't have completely head lost.
Completely head lost. Speaking of heads,
is that a medical term?
Yes.
Zod gets his head twisted and his neck is snapped
by Superman.
Which
let me ask: were y'all like? Did y'all think Superman should kill? Do y'all care that Superman killed?
He has killed.
Yeah, he's not.
I didn't think it didn't bother me that much.
This is a Snyder movie. Even Batman kills in Snyder.
No, Superman's killed.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Superman saving people.
While he doesn't like to kill, he hasn't ever had like
accomplished
kill.
Yeah,
he's not
like he's killed in comics. So I don't care.
Exactly. So
justice in America.
No problem with that. Obviously, the city's destroyed, but somehow Metropolis is... I mean, not Metropolis. The Daily Planet is all good. And then Clark shows up, and he is Clark Kent. He's got the glasses. No one recognizes him as the guy who saved the city. Lois recognizes him.
She called him Clark earlier in the movie.
She did.
She knows his identity, Yeah,
because she went to the Kent farm. Because a lot of this movie was her investigating him and trying to figure out who he was after he saved her. Obviously, and we get a little hint at Supergirl in that sequence too, because there's an open pod with nobody in it, which is a teaser towards Supergirl, who will be in the Flashpoint movies. So that's different. But yeah, and then that's pretty much the movie. He's in the Daily Planet. He gets a job there, and he greets Lois, and she says, "Hello, Clark." And he says, "Hey," and he does this weird smile.
He does.
And then the screen turns white for some reason.
Yeah, it glitched, and it was really funny. It was really funny.
Christopher Nolan. So I liked the movie. I think it was really good, and I think it was decent.
Yeah,
and
definitely
do
decent.
y'all have any final thoughts on the movie? Riley, you haven't talked much.
I mean, it's a decent movie.
Riley's been trying to recover. He had a bad case of the hiccups before we started.
He did.
We had no peanut butter.
I don't know. It's like I have mixed feelings about the movie because I like the movie, but at the same time, it's not really a movie that I like to watch like just in my free time. Like
I agree.
For pleasure, you know what I mean? Like I don't like it that much to where I just want to watch it.
Yeah.
So
not like say Dune.
So some trivia from the movie, because I know we've done trivia on the last few movies. The movie was released in June 2013. It was the 75th anniversary of Superman. Henry Cavill has a naturally hairy chest, which I think we saw a lot during the movie.
Yes.
He insisted that Superman has chest hair, and he said, look at the comic book A Death of Superman, because he has Superman with chest hair.
Yeah,
that's true.
Henry Cavill's a real one.
Let's see here. Gal Gadot was originally cast as Feora, but had to drop out due to her pregnancy. and then the other girl was cast in her place. I think that was good.
Who was the other girl?
The girl who played Fiora.
Yeah, but what was her name?
Antije Treo? I have no idea how to pronounce that. If you do know how to pronounce it, let me know.
Yeah, comment it. Comment how to pronounce it.
It's not going to help you.
Yeah.
She would later be playing Diana Prince, obviously, as we know. Ben Affleck turned down directing the film because he wasn't experienced in visual effects shots. A lesson I learned is to not look at movies based on budget, how much they'll spend on effects, or where they'll shoot. Story is what is most important. So then he starred in Batman vs. Superman.
Genius!
Damn.
The filmmakers outfitted Henry Cavill in the Superman 1978 costume to see how well he'll fit the role. Despite the outfit bearing a lighter blue color and red trunks, no one laughed at Cavill. Snyder knew that Cavill was right for the role, and I agree with him.
Yeah, Cavill makes good sense.
Also, I think if they ever bring him back as Superman, he needs to take the red trunks. I like the red trunks.
He needs underoos.
I really like that costume.
On the roof.
That's what I thought he said.
Rumors say that Zod's broadcast to Earth is made in several languages, including Star Trek Universe's Klingon. But there's no proof of this.
Okay.
I'm going to ask Zach Snyder if I ever meet him.
Superman's costume is defined in this film to be an undergarment. All the battle armor goes on top of the suits. But since Superman's a refugee, his outfit doesn't have the gear and would make him defenseless on his own Kryptonian turf. This is a nod to pop culture's running joke that Superman always appears to be underwear. Let's see here. Amy Adams is only 9 years younger than Martha, the actress who plays Martha. This is Amy Adams' third time auditioning for Lois Lane. She first read Lois Lane in Brett Ratner's Abandoned film, then for Superman Returns, and then stated that it became ridiculous at the time she played Lois, that this time she finally got to play Lois, basically. This is the first live-action Superman movie to not feature Jimmy Olsen. Not only was Jimmy Olsen a character in every Superman prior, but he was also in all of the TV shows, and he also appears in Supergirl. The first major theme of this movie was First Contact. They really wanted to make it known that he's an alien. It's a world that found out he existed. It would be the biggest thing to ever happen in human history. And the existence of everything would change on Earth forever, which we kind of get later in Batman vs. Superman. I think they dwell on that a little bit more. But yeah, let me see if I can find any more that's interesting. Bryan Singer and Brandon Routh expressed interest in reprising their positions from Superman Returns on this film. He had outlined several sequels to follow the story, and Routh was contracted for them as well. But when Warner Brothers announced the film as a clean reboot, Routh still expressed his interest in returning before Zach Snyder declared this movie would have no ties to the cinematic incarnation of his character. Which is kind of sad because I liked his Superman. I really liked the CW Superman, which is the same Superman from Superman Returns. I really liked him. He wore the Kingdom Come suit, and he looked great in it. And he was a great Superman, too, in that show. Zack Snyder originally planned for the red trunks to be worn as part of the suit design in the movie. However, when looking over 1,500 different designs, he said it just didn't work. So he decided to take them out. So I don't believe him. To distinguish this film as a new film separate from the previous ones, the Superman theme by John Williams is never heard, and this is the first Warner Brothers Superman film to not incorporate Williams' score. I think they should have had it in the credits.
Yeah.
They distributed this film to theaters under the title Skyrim, which might be a callback to Henry Cavill, who's like an avid PC game player.
He is.
So I think that might be the case. The
What are
action
you sighing
scenes,
about, Riley? You don't like PC gamers?
That's just not a good title.
the action scenes all had CGI cape and also CGI armor for Kryptonians. And also, if you see the Batman cape in the Batman versus Superman, that's also CGI. General Zod's first name is Drew, according to the comic. The comics, I just want that to be known. Man of Steel was also the title to the canceled sequel to Superman Returns. So they kept the name Man of Steel. Superman's costume is based on the New 52 Superman costume. Many of the scenes taken from the Superman graphic novel were taken from the Superman graphic novel, Superman Birthright, which I agree with. I also think it takes a lot from Superman Earth 1. If you've ever read Volume 1 of that, it's almost pretty much the same. With an alien invasion, Superman has to stop them, and they're terraforming. It's basically the entire plot in this movie, but with not the same character of General Zod. Trying to see a lot of stuff from Birthright. Viggo Mortensen, who you thought was the guy anyways, and Daniel Day-Lewis was considered to play Zod, which would have been completely different. I think the guy who played Zod did a great job.
He did.
Yeah.
Michael Shannon?
Yeah, Michael Shannon. I thought he did great. I think that's pretty much it.
That's a lot of trivia done. Are we going to give a number rating?
I give it an 8 or a 9.
I'd give it an 8.
8 or 9.
Yeah, 8's fine.
8. 8's across the board.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I think now let's rank them compared to the other Superman movies.
What did we have?
I don't even know.
It's a good question.
I know
That's a
Superman
very good
Returns
question.
is our top one.
Yeah, Superman Returns is the top one. I do know that as well.
And Superman 4 was the bottom one?
Yes, it was. Obviously, it was.
Superman 2 we have at like second place.
I can tell you. I'm
And then
pulling it up
Superman
right now.
1 and then Superman 3. Alright. No, I thought we had
All right,
Superman
here we
3
are.
in the
Oh,
top for
fuck.
a bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got to the. We did have it at the top.
Superman 3 might be our second one.
It is the second one.
Okay.
I'm
That's
trying to
funny.
pull it up right now.
I forgot we did that.
The Richard Pryor movie.
God,
You thought I was drunk.
apparently.
didn't you?
Superman movies. We have one more left. Which is
Andrew's watching a clip from
I don't think we have any plans of doing justice.
Riley just did an impression on the video from Superman Returns of him breaking Zod's neck, so that's great.
Did I do that?
You did do that. It's actually a very good quality video, too. It looks almost 4K. No wonder this has 7.8 views.
We served in 4K.
Please like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Tell us how stupid we are for liking Superman. Yeah, tell them how idiot.
Okay, so like our ranking right now before this movie was Superman Returns,
I'll tell you
Superman
what it is.
3, Superman 2.
It's the very end of this clip, and for whatever reason, it skips to the next clip as soon as I do it.
Did we have Superman 2 above Superman 1?
Yes.
Okay.
They're basically ranked in order, I believe.
So it's
except for
Returns-
Superman 4.
It's Returns.
Here we go.
3.
So we have Superman Returns, Superman 3, Superman 2, and then Superman the movie.
And then Superman 4.
And then Superman 4, the last one.
The quest
that
for
one.
peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's very
That
last,
one's
yeah.
very bad.
Okay.
I think that it's above Superman Returns. Who else thinks that it's above Superman Returns? Raise your hand.
Maybe, but like
I think it's above Superman
quality
Returns.
wise, no, I can't.
Okay, do you think it's above Superman 3?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely above Superman 3.
Yeah.
So we think one.
So do you think it's number 2 below Superman Returns?
It's up to y'all. I don't think it's above Superman Returns, but that's
I
just
like
me.
Superman Returns. I really like Superman.
I think we
Returns,
can-
but I think Superman Returns.
Returns is more rewatchable for me.
I think it's.
And I think
it's
it has a
fair.
better Clark Kent too.
Yeah, it's fair to
I
put
do
this at
too.
the number 2 spot.
Okay, I think it's fair to put it in Superman 2. I think it's Man of Steel goes right below Superman Returns. So at number 1,
Still Superman Returns.
Superman Returns. Number 2, Man of Steel. Number 3, which for God's sake and reason, they like Superman 3, which I think is a hot mess of a movie. It should be almost dead last.
You did not say that
Superman
when we
3.
watched it. It's been a while, but Richard Pryor made that movie.
I said it was garbage.
He did.
Superman
Like
3.
it much.
Uh,
He was against us.
And then at number 4, we have Superman 2, which I think should be much higher. Number 5, we have Superman the movie. And then number 6, we have Superman 4, A Quest for Peace, which is a garbage, awful movie that you should never watch.
It's not good.
But guys, we did it! We did it!
We finally watched
We did it!
We reviewed all
2 years later, and we watched every single Superman movie.
Now, what's next for ChimiComics?
We'll see you in the future,
Yep.
and you'll know that. But until then, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and enjoy the quest for peace.
That's pretty cringe.
It was very cringe. Thank you.
Cringe.
Sign us off, Wyatt.
Like and subscribe.